Every day, millions of people scan QR codes on restaurant tables, payment stickers, concert tickets, packages, and even phones. But here's the strange part. Almost every QR code looks different. Some are tiny, some are huge, some are simple, some look extremely complicated. So how do these black squares avoid repeating? And how can your phone instantly know exactly what each one means? The answer is much smarter than most people realize. In this video, you'll discover what QR codes actually are, how they store information, why almost every QR code is unique, how phones read them so quickly, and why damaged QR codes can still work. Let's find out. What is a QR code? Most people think a QR code is just a random pattern. But actually, a QR code is simply a way to store information. Those tiny black and white squares are like a secret language for computers. Inside a QR code could be a website link, a payment request, Wi-Fi password, ticket, message, or contact information. Your phone reads those tiny squares and converts them into useful information. Example: imagine building words using Lego blocks. Different Lego arrangements create different shapes. QR codes work in a similar way. Different square patterns create different information. How does a QR code store information? Now here's where things get interesting. Each tiny square inside the QR code represents data. Some squares mean yes, no, on, off. Computers use this kind of system all the time. By combining thousands of tiny squares together, a QR code can store a surprisingly large amount of information. The more information you add, the more complicated the QR code becomes. That's why some QR codes look much denser than others. Example: imagine writing a short sentence. It takes only a few words, but writing an entire book needs many more letters. QR codes work the same way. More information needs more squares. Why don't QR codes repeat? Now here's the big question. Why are almost no two QR codes exactly the same? Because even tiny changes create a completely different pattern. Changing one letter, one number, or one website link can completely rearrange the QR code. For example, these two links look almost identical. Website.com/cat, website.com/cats. But adding just one extra letter changes the QR code. That's why billions of unique QR codes can exist. Because there are billions of possible combinations. Example: imagine a lock with many number combinations. Even changing one number creates a completely different code. QR codes work similarly. Tiny changes create brand new patterns. How do phones read QR codes so fast? But how does your phone scan a QR code almost instantly? Your camera first detects the large square corners. Those corners help the phone understand where the QR code is, its size, and its direction. Then the phone quickly reads the tiny black and white squares inside. All of this happens in less than a second. Example: imagine solving a maze. The corner markers are like signs helping you know where to start. Without them, the phone could get confused. Why do damaged QR codes still work? Now here's something most people don't know. Even damaged QR codes can still work. Sometimes, part of the code is scratched, dirty, or covered, and yet your phone still scans it. How? Because QR codes contain backup information. This is called error correction. Basically, the QR code stores extra hidden data just in case part of it gets damaged. Example: imagine missing a few puzzle pieces, but still being able to understand the picture. That's what QR codes do. They can recover missing information. So the next time you scan a QR code, remember this. Those tiny black squares are carefully organized information. Every small change creates a different pattern. That's why QR codes almost never repeat. And thanks to smart design, your phone can understand them in seconds.